Casey here. Shot to the point news. This is how you handle it. This is how you do it. This story is not going to be so much about, we've already covered the True Geordie explicit letters to an unnamed woman, and that unnamed woman exposed, let's say a unusual romantic engagement, if I can do it in a non-getting my video demonetized sort of way, or if I could put it simply, True Geordie was exposed by an ex engaging in romantic acts that you would not expect a guy like True Geordie to be engaged with. But he did not address it on Twitter or Instagram for the whole week. But this is a lesson for YouTubers because everybody gets into some kind of trouble across the line. And I would say this particular answer to your problem is I don't know. It's not the silver bullet. It's not going to take every problem you run into, but just a lot of the times, and if you don't do it in a phony way, what you do is you own it. You just own it. You just, yeah, it's true. And if you want to do it in a very British way, they have this thing in high school. It's called banter. And if you can't take the banter, get out. It's the way the British boys roll. I saw them handle it that way when they were in the Army, when I served with them or hung out with them in bars. It's just the right way to do it. And Geordie and his buddies they do such a good job in making it look so sincere, and I actually want to watch. And this is a lesson how to get out of a bad situation. And what's a bad situation? Geordie has a reputation or a physical manifestation of being a super macho guy. We find out that he does not have super macho. The way he's wired sexually is not consistent with his look and maybe being this big super sports fan. All right. How do we reconcile that? Well, again, I said, you bring the boys in. And let me show you what they did because it was quite funny. And this is just the way to handle it. It's the way to handle things 90% of the time if you're in a little bit of a trouble. Again, it's not a cure-all. If you did something absolutely heinous, this isn't going to work. But if you did something that you don't want people to know about and you're relatively a good guy, this is the right way to do it.
True Geordie caught...
You have to. Just get on with it.
True Geordie caught in DM scandal.
No. Just two adults messaging each other. Yes. Come on, just get on with the messages.
True Geordie ironically went to number 2 in the trending charts this week.
I like what you've done there. I've actually prepared a few.
Have you got some jokes there, Stephen?
Yeah.
That's perfect. What, just on the off chance that you came down and...
I've looked in my little folder here and it says Brian Roast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the roast of True Geordie.
Brian's got a lot to get off his chest, and that's just from last night.
That wasn't... Right, okay.
I was surprised Brian asked me to come here today and roast him. Then I remembered he loves being humiliated by a big dick. I recently...
The thing that's so brilliant about this part is, and believe me, don't think for a minute that this happened organically. They planned this. Geordie knew this was coming. But the way Geordie looks like he's actually literally embarrassed. It's one thing to go and own something and sort of scream out, "It doesn't bother me. Nothing bothers me. See, guys, it doesn't bother me. Don't unsub my channel. Don't think I'm a deviant." That wouldn't have worked, but this roast is kind of perfect in the sense where Geordie looks legitimately uncomfortable, and I think for his audience, they needed to see that before they could move on. Was that strategic? Was that planned in the room? Don't know. Possible. Or did certainly the setup, the roast didn't happen organically. You could probably fire any one of these guys. But the way they went about it and the way either Geordie's like a really great actor or, they knew this is probably the best case scenario to bounce back because believe it or not, this is a bounce back situation. Some people are out. There are people out there that care about your sex life when you're a celebrity. They actually give a crap. I don't get it. If I was a huge fan of Geordie and if I found out he's gay, I wouldn't care. But there are people out there, and they're trying to keep those folks in. They're trying to keep those people from watching, and certainly you don't want this to become too much of a meme, because if it becomes too much of a meme, then Geordie becomes a joke, and then people don't go to him for sports advice or whatever it is that he does. So that's the way this stuff works. But otherwise, so far, this is perfect.
Spoke to your boxing coach, Vidal. He said, Geordie's a great student. He's always open to getting a few tips in the ring. Some Newcastle supporters say Brian is a plastic fan. All right, they were. Cheers, Mum, for providing that.
Wrong colour for me, apparently.
Yeah. Brian's message.
You're that wrong color for me. Yes, if you watched my last video on True Geordie, it was a black PP, because we can't talk like adults here, and we have to gray stuff like that out on the internet. 2019, baby.
Messages are going to be made into an erotic novel. Look out on the shops for 50 Shades of Brown.
Do you know, I think I would be pretty good at sex literature.
Yeah.
That was part of the reaction online, I've got to admit. There were some people going, True Geordie's has written a fan fiction.
Apparently you were really drunk when you sent those messages. Well, it's not the first time you've been shit-faced. Oh, Brian loves gym girls, especially ones that can squat and curl one out.
Oh, God. All right. All right. You get it. You get it. But it's a really good comeback. I don't want to see a guy lose his career over some stupid private stuff. What that girl did to him was horrible. Horrible. But it just, don't put anything in writing, boys. Don't do it. And yeah, if you do something silly. See, the thing is, like I can't criticize. I've made criticism systems on my podcast about Geordie, on here. It doesn't seem to matter if they're legitimate or illegitimate, or maybe just an off the cuff joke about him. People get outraged, and what I call that is sort of good guy collateral. And Geordie has tons of it, tons of this. If this is a guy that was sort of irritating the community, and this came out, it's game, set, match. But Geordie has built up tons of good guy, likable capital, not collateral, excuse me. He's built tons of it up. So when something bad happens, just goes kind of show you if you're a good guy, and you've forged a lot of relationships with fans and people. I noticed in my last video, there's a lot of people that were screaming at me for reporting this, which is ridiculous, of course. But at the same time, I think that shows his fans were already ready to move on and didn't care what he did in his bedroom. And a lot of that, and let's take a more disliked character, like a Keemstar. And if we find this out about Keemstar, it would never go away. Because he's built up a lot of, kind of bad feelings in the community with messing with people. So it really depends on who you are. Geordie's one of those guys. And I don't remember, I was actually looking for like a podcast or something where he's been I'm going to kick your ass, man. It's more the only stuff I found out is when, Newcastle, when he even raised his voice, is when Newcastle dropped the game to Sutherland like 5-0 or 3-0 or something. So he's not a dick. And that's really the key. Build, I don't think you could do it in my side of the internet, but build good guy capital, and you'll be good. You'll be good. I'm glad Geordie popped his way out of this. I'm sure the podcast was well received. He's gonna get a poo-poo joke from time to time, but that's the way it goes. All right, boys and girls. I said it before. I'll say it again. You want to be a part of the Shot From Away team? I need a guy in North America that can make videos like this. You want to be a part of the team? Want to hang out with me and Nick and all the guys and put stories together? It's work for Nick. Just passed 10,000 subs. 10,000. And if you are into what we're doing, my advice to you is to make a video and send it to me either on the Shot, if you can do that, on the Shot From the Point Twitter, or jump into my Discord, link in the description box below, and send me videos. And just because I reject your first video, don't run away and cry. Make another one if you want it that bad. That impresses me, right? But if you can do these types of videos and you can do them at the times that we need to do them, we're really interested in having you on the team. If you have some insight, are you funny? Do you have something to add? It's a good jump to get your own YouTube channel started. All right? So thanks. And I'll see you tonight on, if you're seeing this on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The famous Shot From the Point podcast goes live. We're doing news of the week. We're covering True Geordie, Blade, everything that happened this week, even that crazy thing that went on with Augie's channel. Oh, Augie's going to be on tonight. And I'll see you then. Thanks.